know much about them or not, the auto industry is changing at a rapid pace. Most cars nowadays run on gasoline. This Hummer right here runs on diesel. But now there's actually a shift towards electricity. Why is that? It has been reported that 28% of all greenhouse gases yearly is a result of the transportation industry. That is mostly because of manufacturing emissions as well as gasoline use. Now, because of these figures, scientists and people all around want to take out the engine and put in a battery. Now, unfortunately, the best way to get around would be public transportation. This would limit the CO2 emissions each person produces. Yet, in today's suburban lifestyle, that's not too plausible. The nearest bus stop to me right now is currently a mile away. Now, in the past, manufacturers have tried making hybrid vehicles, taking an engine but also adding a battery pack. There were pros and cons with this. Pros being some of your commute to work can be all electric. Now, cons of this were you would only get 14 miles per electric charge, so you still heavily relied on your engine for most of your commuting. Now, with Toyota being the only hybrid that's really still alive at this point, a lot of auto manufacturers are either just sticking to internal combustion engines or they're trying to diverge and dip their toes, if you will, into the electric vehicle market.
So GM recently announced their foray into the EV sector. They have unveiled their Ultium platform. Now this will hopefully be used by all of its daughter companies, such as GMC, Chevy, Cadillac, and recently Hummer. By using a common platform, they hope to reduce costs as well as reduce emissions during production.
Now, why would it be so necessary to reduce emissions on electric vehicles? Aren't they already green enough? Well, the issue with electric vehicles is it actually produces more CO2 emissions to produce an electric vehicle than it does to produce an internal combustion engine. This is due to the mining of lithium as well as other resources that need to go into these batteries. These batteries are pretty much the length of whatever car you put them in, so larger cars obviously need more batteries. With this being said, it can take up to 17 metric tons of CO2 emissions to produce one electric vehicle. That's in comparison of about 8 metric tons to produce a regular gasoline vehicle. Now, CO2 emissions aren't the only issue with mining for lithium. It also releases a lot of groundwater, contaminating the groundwater, as well as destroying the land that you're mining on. Now, this mining takes place in the lithium triangle, which is Chile, Argentina, and Bolivia. Now, these countries also do a lot of agricultural work and tending of livestock. Now, that being said, these livestock already produce a lot of CO2 emissions. Now, the groundwater and all the resources being used to mine also puts a strain on the livestock and the agriculture you're trying to produce. Now, an expert on this lithium extraction actually believes that the region could become uninhabitable in the next few years or decades due to all the fresh water being expended during the process. Now, not only is land use and water use an issue, but the chemicals being expended and possibly carried by the wind could be an issue as well. The surrounding livestock as well as agriculture could be affected by these random metal ions being taken away. Now, the resulting health effects on these livestock as well as humans, consequently, is unknown yet. Now, CO2 emissions should end right there, right? With the battery pack and the car being fully produced, the car can just run off of electricity now. Well, the issue with that is many cars and houses are still powered by coal and other fossil fuels. Now, in this figure by the Natural Renewable Energy Laboratory, a U.S. Department of Energy lab, it is shown that when electric vehicles obtain their energy from high carbon sources, such as coal, their CO2 emissions are actually just the same as internal combustion engines. Now, of course, not just locally, but globally, we need to switch to renewable resources. That includes solar power, wind power, and hydropower. Now, the way we store this renewable energy is very important as well. Now, currently, with more research being put into these electric cars, manufacturers are hoping to come out with a solid-state battery. These batteries will have a longer shelf life and have a longer effective rate. of being able to hold more charge for these vehicles. This way, electric vehicles will have a longer range, as well as not need as much lithium to be mined up year over year. Another big area of research that car manufacturers are looking into are aerodynamics. Now, many people have known the importance of aerodynamics, but with electric cars, it's even more important because that increases your range. Now, Teslas have their own wheel covers that reduce the amount of air that gets sucked in. That allows them to be more efficient by reducing their air drag. Now, on the other hand, there are some cars that are very inefficient. They have no aerodynamic qualities at all. And of course, I'm referring to Jeeps. Now, this is my Jeep, and basically on the highway, driving to school sometimes, it's like I'm driving a brick. It's 90-degree angles all around, and these big fenders that come out of nowhere are basically ruining my miles per gallon. To be honest, my MPG is currently at 16, but Jeep is trying to make amends for that. Jeep has actually released their newest 4xe, which is a hybrid version of the Wrangler. They promise to bring that number up to 50 miles per gallon by utilizing the battery packs inside. Was getting an electric vehicle the right move for you? Well, first of all, you gotta see if you're even in the market. A lot of people do flock over and get a brand new Tesla when they have an already okay car. And sometimes this can result in extra waste being produced yearly. Now, another thing you have to ask yourself is, do you want an electric car? Do you like the earth? Because if not, just go get a... I will tell you, look at your budget. A lot of electric cars are actually more expensive than their gasoline counterparts. That being said, they also come with more features. In the sub $30,000 range, the best bet would be a Nissan Leaf. Now, the Nissan Leaf has been around for a lot of years, and with that, there are a lot of models to choose from. Now, you can get the earlier edition models for a lot cheaper. The issue with that is they won't have the same range you'll find in the newer models. Another car you can get in the sub $30,000 range is the Chevy Bolt. Now, just as Nissan Leaf, I would advise that you get a used car to save on your carbon footprint, as well as save some dough. Now, in this new price range, you'll notice that these cars are a lot nicer, and a lot of them are actually from Tesla. Tesla is the market leader in electric cars.
So this chart really breaks down the advantages and disadvantages of each of the different Tesla models. The Model S is really the king of the castle, has the highest range as well as the fastest speed. The Model 3, on the other hand, is the cheaper version. Here we have the Model Y and the Model X. These are just the SUV versions of the Model 3 and the Model S, respectively. They do weigh more and cost more, so they would not be an advisable buy.
Now, if you really plan on balling on a new vehicle, there's a couple new special mentions that I should get into. Now, another auto manufacturer that's getting into the electric game is Mercedes. They've actually just released promotional footage for their Mercedes EQS, and they state that they want to release 10 different electric models before 2025. The EQS will have an estimated retail price of about $160,000. Now, after Mercedes, you can get into a Porsche. Now, with the Porsche Taycan, modeled off the Porsche Panamera, are fully electric. Now, these vehicles also start at around $160,000, and they can range all the way up to $210,000. GMC, the new owners of the Hummer brand, have just released two new products, the Hummer EV truck and the Hummer EV SUV. To me, that seems like a mouthful, but we'll see how it holds up to the test of time. With the new Hummer, they're promising a robust machine, a workhorse, if you will. The new Hummer will be almost as fast as this new 2021 Stingray, just as capable as a Jeep Wrangler, and as comfortable as a Mercedes. They are expected to be from $80,000 to $100,000. Now, this Hummer EV pickup truck is actually in competition with Tesla's upcoming Cybertruck. This Cybertruck has actually been delayed, but it does come around at a lower price point, starting at about $50,000. Now, if you plan on getting any of these vehicles, I do still recommend buy used. Save some money, and you save your carbon footprint.